Hey guys, it's Dave, and I'm bringing to you my WWE Fastlane predictions. Now, if you don't follow me on SoundCloud, that's where I have my Everyday Rants podcast. I did post on Wednesday a podcast I did with a fellow YouTuber, Steven, over at Geeks, and a buddy I met through the Basement Geeks Facebook page, Marty Sears. We did a podcast. We did one for the Royal Rumble also. That was uploaded on Wednesday. That had my predictions. But I will do one here for you guys here on YouTube. Again, Fastlane is this Sunday, March 5th at 8 p.m. on the WWE Network. The kickoff show is going to have Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa versus the Braun, Kendrick, and Noam Dar. I'm not a big cruiserweight fan. I don't really watch 205 Live or whatever. But I went with the Braun, Kendrick, and Noam Dar. I know they're trying to build up a Kendrick-Swann feud, it seems like, what I've at least witnessed on Raw. So I'm going to soon have the heel go over. Then we'll start with the show. First, we'll start with Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. I'm going with Sasha Banks. I think it's time. I think a win over Jax will help her a little bit, and I think they're setting up a WrestleMania, either a three-way match or maybe a four-way. For the women's title there on Raw. So I think Sasha deserves the win. They might have Jax kill her, though, again, so we'll see. But I'm going to go with Banks. I hope this is the last we see of Banks versus Jax. Next up, I'm going to go with the Raw Tag Team title match. It is Enzo and Cass versus the Club, Gallows and Anderson, the champs. I'm going with Gallows and Anderson. I hope they keep the titles on them. I love their whole gimmick. I love their look. I hope they keep the titles. I'm not that big on Enzo and Cass. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not a big fan. All Enzo's really good on is on the mic, and even half the time I don't understand what he's saying. He's not that good in the ring. He's very green. Cass is a little weaker on the mic, a little bit better in the ring, but not that much better, and I don't think putting the titles on them is the right move right now. So I'm going to hope that they keep it on Gallows and Anderson. Next up, we'll go with the Cruiserweight title match, Neville versus Jack Gallagher. I think if they're given enough time, this could be one of the best matches of the night. I'm going to go with Neville. He's been red hot as a heel Neville. I like a heel Neville better than a face Neville. I do like Jack Gallagher a lot. I would love to see Jack Gallagher put on the main roster. I'd like to see him feud him for the United States Championship. I think that would be funny. But I think they're going to set these two up to go a little longer, and I think having Neville beat Gallagher has Gallagher still chasing that title maybe for a WrestleMania match. Next, we'll go with Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. On the podcast, all three of us agreed. We think this is going to be the match of the night. I think this is going to be the match of the night. If given enough time and a good ending and a good story, I think Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn is going to be an awesome match. Samoa Joe will go over. He'll look strong, but I'm sure they'll make Zayn look competitive and good in it as well. But Joe's going to go over. Has to, I would think. So I'm going with Samoa Joe. Next up for the Raw Women's title, it's Bayley defending against Charlotte Flair. Not sure why they put the title on Bayley so quickly, especially on Raw when they could have saved that. I thought build it up for WrestleMania, have Bayley be the one to defeat Charlotte for the first time on pay-per-view at WrestleMania for the women's title, but they didn't do that. I'm really afraid that they're going to put the title back on Charlotte to keep her pay-per-view win intact. So that's where I'm going. I'm going with Charlotte, and that's kind of a bummer because I would have liked Bayley to have a bigger push with this title and a bit better build-up than on winning it on a Monday Night Raw, personally. Next, we'll go with Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. You guys know I'm not a big Roman Reigns fan. I do like Braun Strowman. For some reason, I don't know, I kind of get into his gimmick. When I hear that big roar sound when he comes out, I'm always like, oh, whose ass is he going to kick next? I think this match it's not going to be a great wrestling technical match. It's going to be a brawl, all-out brawl. I said on the podcast, and I'm still feeling this way, I'm going with Braun Strowman, and I think The Undertaker is going to somehow be involved, interfere, cost Reigns the match, and that will continue to set up the rumored Undertaker versus Roman Reigns match, because apparently this will be The Undertaker's last match at WrestleMania. He's supposed to have hip surgery afterwards. He said that he will not wrestle anymore after this, and he was supposed to face John Cena, but McMahon scrapped that and wants him, I guess, Undertaker to pass the torch to Roman Reigns, which I think is a horrible decision. I'd rather have seen Undertaker versus Styles, but I think it only works if they turn Reigns heel fully, because if Reigns pins The Undertaker at WrestleMania, no matter how much they try to push him as a face, he will be booed for the rest of his career for that He's already booed now. That'll just amplify it if he beats The Undertaker at WrestleMania. But I'm going with Braun Strowman to beat Roman Reigns. And then we're going to go with the Universal title match. We have the champion, Kevin Owens, defending against Goldberg. The rumors have been the promise to Brock Lesnar, since he got squashed at Survivor Series and then kind of basically squashed again by Goldberg at the Royal Rumble, is that he will be getting a title push. So I'm assuming that this will be the transition to get the title on Goldberg, give him one last little run up until WrestleMania, and then have him lose it to Brock as a payoff to Brock for getting squashed twice. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of putting titles on wrestlers that are there part-time and aren't there every night hustling and every house show and all that stuff, so I'm not a big fan of that. But I do think Goldberg is going to go over. I think Owens will do his best, but again, he's going to be in the ring with Goldberg, who is, 50-something years old. Owens is a great athlete, but I think Owens will lose the title. I think somehow Jericho will be involved. I think that could set up a Jericho versus Owens WrestleMania match for the United States Championship. And I think Goldberg will win, and he will go into WrestleMania as, I guess, some type of main event at WrestleMania for the Universal title against Lesnar, and Lesnar will win. And again, they'll have a title on a part-timer until either Finn Balor comes back or until Rollins comes back, I guess. We'll see. But those are my predictions. Let me know what you thought of them. Let me know what your thoughts are for this Sunday's WWE pay-per-view Fastlane, again on the WWE Network. Leave your comments below. Hit up the red subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And during the live show, I usually do a lot of live tweeting. So you can follow me there at Everyday Geek TV. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the show, and I'll catch you next time.